Good evening.
Good evening.
Today is October the 3rd, 2023. Our thought for today is to be the change that you wish to see in the world. That's Mahatma Gandhi. I'm going to go ahead and officially call this meeting to order tonight. I'm going to ask if, let's see here, Commissioner Henderson, if you will lead us in our pledge. I'm going to see what Commissioner Edwards, in our prayer tonight. And I'm going to see what Commissioner Edwards lead us in our pledge. Yes, sir.
Thank you. With everyone bow their heads, most gracious Heavenly Father, we come before thee with thanksgiving in our hearts. We come in just thanking for just allowing us to see another day, another afternoon, another night, because we know without your mercy and your grace, that would be impossible. Because without you, my Father, we can do nothing. I mean, nothing. But with you, we can do all things. And we just thank you. And we will forever follow you. This we pray. In our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ's name, amen.
Amen. Thank you guys for that. I seek a motion that we approve the agenda, please.
Second.
It's been motioned by Commissioner Edwards and second by Commissioner Mason. Any discussion? All in favor? It passes 4-0. Next is citizen comments. This opportunity that we allow citizens to make comments about agenda topics only. You have 3 minutes to do so. If you would, please state your name and your address for the record, please. Agenda topics only. Thank you. Next is the chairman's report. Today we have a proclamation that we want to do. This is National 4-H Week, and we're excited about our 4-Hers. They're actually here with us tonight. Ms. Hamp, if you would, please read the proclamation before we bring them up.
Yes, sir, Chairman. National 4-H Week proclamation. Whereas the young people of Georgia and Newton County are our greatest natural resource, and whereas the 4-H program has assisted in the growth and development of Georgia and Newton County youth for 119 years, and whereas adult volunteer leaders and advisors are devoting their talents, leadership, and resources to serving these leaders of tomorrow, and whereas 4-H helps its members discover and acquire the essential elements of positive youth development of mastery, generosity, belonging, and independence in the areas of leadership, civic engagement, healthy living, and agriculture and STEM, and whereas Newton County is Georgia 4-H and entices young people and adults to become involved in the educational and entertaining programs offered by the 4-H program in Newton County through the University of Georgia College and Agricultural and Environmental Sciences Cooperative Extension. Now, therefore, I, Chairman Marcelo Baines, along with the Newton County Board of Commissioners, do declare and proclaim the week of October 1st through the 7th, 2023, to be Newton County 4-H Week, and urge all of our citizens to assist in according this observance the attention and importance to which it is so rightly entitled. In witness whereof, I've hereunto set my hand and affixed our seal this third day of October 2023. And Chairman Baines, I'd also like to note that we do have our admin building light at the very top reflecting green for this entire week.
Thank you. Ashley, if y'all would come on up, please. Sure. Y'all want to tell us a little bit about what you guys got going on?
Sure. Thank you for having us here tonight. My name is Charlene Scott. I'm the 4-H agent here in Newton County, and I did provide you guys a little bit of an overview at your seat for you to look at. But tonight, we're going to highlight a couple of amazing things that have happened this past year in 4-H. It's the 2022-2023 4-H year, as we just started the 23-24 4-H year. There's lots of accomplishments, but I'm going to go over the ones that are highlighted in green because those really stand out. We did have one participant on our high school level move on to our state contest for public speaking, which is amazing, beating 39 other counties in her speaking category. We did have the #1 horse judging team in the state, so our juniors team, which is 4th through 8th grade, and coached by Ashley Best, our Ag and Natural Resources agent. They placed first in the whole state, which is amazing. We did have 2 high school 4-Hers represent Newton County at the Georgia Cooperative Council Youth Leadership Conference. The only way to get invited to that is to have a sponsor, and so Georgia Snapping Shoals sponsored them. So we had 2 youth go to that. We also had 3 youth qualify in our horse state show and moved on and represented Georgia in the Southern Region Horse Show. I don't like to brag on myself, but I was awarded the state award for new extension professional through our Epsilon Sigma Phi Alpha Beta chapter, which you have to be inducted into, and then I was awarded the state award for that. We also have a program that we're working with Nebraska State and Penn State University, which is called Adulting 101, Teaching Life Skills to Kids. We presented that at this past national conference. We won 2 state awards and a regional award for that curriculum. On the inside is a little bit of a highlight of our in-school educational program. We are in 8 public schools and 3 private schools this year, reaching about 1,100 students every single month, teaching public speaking, agri-science, doing community service, and educational contests. And then for our community program last year, we reached 13,537 educational contacts, which is pretty amazing. So we are
Just 2 people, so.
with 2 staff members. This is DJ Dobbs, our 4-H program assistant. I failed on that part. We also have with us 3 of our 4-Hers and 2 of our 4-H volunteers, which I'll talk about real quick on the back. But I did give you a highlight of some of the demographics of what we serve across the county. But reaching that many contacts with just 2 of us is a big feat. On the back, our program is growing, which is fantastic. But with a growing program comes growing challenges. But our youth have been able to serve 945 hours of community service in a year. We've had adult volunteers serve 358 hours. And then this year, fundraising grants and in-kind donations have been phenomenal, and we've been able to raise over $70,000 for the Newton County 4-H program. We have highlighted 4 focus areas that we plan to focus on over the next couple of years, public speaking being 1, science and STEM being the 2nd, mental health awareness being the 3rd, and then continuing focusing on those life skills. Our young people need it. We do want to highlight we have monthly meetings that happen once a month at Turner Lake. It's called Club Night. We have 4 clubs. We have a horse club, cooking club, wildlife club, and STEM club. And starting in October, the people have asked, and we are delivering. We have a Clover Bud group, which is kindergarten through 3rd grade that we are adding, and it's completely being run by these 2 volunteers. So we're excited to have that.
Charlene, we want to just take an opportunity to say thank you for all the things that you are doing for our youth in this community. It's amazing the way you have went into the schools and y'all are providing these programs. So thank you so much. I want to present this proclamation to you, but I'm going to ask the entire board to come up so we can get a group picture with everybody.
Awesome.
It's okay. If y'all don't mind, come on up, commissioners. Again, thank you so much for all that you do in the community. Next is the county manager's report. Mr. Cooper is not here with us tonight, and Jason Johnson is filling in tonight. Mr. Johnson has a report that he want to give. Sir, if you would, please come on up here. Mr. Johnson said he's a preacher, so he feels more comfortable standing at the podium. So go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I am going to give you the county manager's report tonight. Since Mr. Cooper's been here, he has focused on three things really, and that's people, purpose, and processes. And our work's predicated on that 3P approach, and he's kind of grilled it into us. And so I'm going to present tonight the first P, which is people and our relationship with them. Now, I know that you have heard from some of our other workforce teams. James Brown, he heads up our infrastructure team. Miss Amanda Shoemaker, she heads up our human services workforce team. And then Brittany White, she heads up our administrative services team. And tonight, I'm here to talk about my team, which is government relations. And I hope you can see there that the different agencies and departments that make up my team, they are government buildings and facilities, the Newton County Extension Services, Newton County Environmental Services, and then I will continue to serve as a liaison with our court services as well as our city and our state agencies. And the goal is just kind of very simple. It's just we're going to try to improve communication with some of these outlying offices and agencies to assure collaboration, and then just kind of making sure we're continuing to meet the needs of our citizens there. So very briefly, I want to highlight each of these departments or agencies. The first one's my department. I've had the pleasure of working in this department for 25 years now, and that's government buildings and facilities. And we provide all aspects of building maintenance. Most all of the maintenance requests go through our department, and we handle those requests either through in-house staffing or outside vendors. And this provides the county with work order documentation, competitive pricing, expedited services, and then accountability for the services that are rendered. This year, we will see an estimated 237,000 visitors come through the doors of the Judicial Center, the Historic Courthouse, and the Administration Building. You can see the numbers there, and those numbers were compiled for us by the Newton County Sheriff's Office. And our folks are visiting for all sorts of reasons, from hang tags to car tags, inspections, permits. They're registering to vote, attending meetings. Some of them are volunteers that serve on our many different boards. All of those things are happening in our facilities. And that's why our goal is to keep them safe, keep them clean, comfortable, and functional, not only for our citizens, but for our employees who call those places home every day. The next department I'd like to highlight is Newton County Extension Services. You've heard from these great folks tonight. As Ms. Hamp said, the admin building tower is lit green this week. And then later on, after this week, we will light it in purple for domestic violence and pink as well for breast cancer awareness. But focusing on the Extension Service, we're kind of unique. We have a partnership with the University of Georgia, the state of Georgia, and the U.S. Department of Agriculture. And they offer all kind of educational programs in their office in the areas of horticulture, agriculture, food safety. As a matter of fact, I was part of a conversation this week about how to decorate with food. And that was very interesting. They also do nutrition, leadership, and citizenship for our youth. Another department that is on our team is the Newton County Environmental Services. They're located on the third floor of the admin building. And they offer all kind of services at this location, like foodborne illness investigations. They do permit and inspection on body artists and body art shops or studios. They regulate food service establishments. They do restaurant inspections. They permit food service establishment. They do client consultation for determining the feasibility of septic system use. They do site evaluations for those septic tank placements. They permit and inspect the septic systems and their construction. They certify those systems as well. And they also go out and do complaint investigations on septic systems. They also inspect all of our hotels, motels, bed and breakfast, and inns. And we appreciate all that they do to keep us safe and protect us through the services that they provide. Next up is the Newton County Court Services. I serve as a liaison with the court services. They're located in the Judicial Center. Offices like our juvenile court, probate court, magistrate court, superior court offices, and their courtrooms are all located in the Judicial Center. The district attorney's office and our clerk of courts is also located in that facility. And then we also didn't want to forget about our public defender's office. They are located off-site at 1160 Pace Street. And this year, again, we'll see roughly 104,000 people come through the doors of the Judicial Center. And they'll be doing business in civil and criminal cases. They'll be buying marriage license and firearms permits. Our vital records are stored in this facility, both birth and death certificates, passports, notary applications. You might have to serve on jury duty at this site, and then you can also search property deeds and plats there. So it's a very busy place. And then lastly, but certainly not least, I will act as a liaison between our city and state offices. We have 6 cities that we deal with on a very regular basis: City of Covington, Oxford, Porterdale, Mansfield, New Bern, and Social Circle. And also of note, we have some other state offices and agencies that are located in county facilities. And I thought you might be interested to know that over at Cousins, we house the Department of Driver Services, the Department of Juvenile Justice, and then the Newton County Community Partnership are all located there. Over on Hazelbrand Road is our health center, and they offer both physical and mental health services there. We have a small natural resource conservation office located inside our GIS office. They're good folks there. And then lastly, we have a drug and veterans court that is actually located on the 3rd floor of this building. So you can see that the government relation workforce team touches a lot of different offices and agencies. And again, our goal is just to continue to work with them to meet the needs of our citizens. And if you don't have any questions for me, I'm going to turn it back over to the chairman. Commissioner Henderson.
Thank you, sir. Commissioner Henderson?
Thank you. Excuse me. First of all, I think that was a very good report, Reverend. I think you did extremely well, and you were very appreciative for that report. What I wanted to ask, and I was, well, first of all, I had two main questions. First question was, and since I hadn't heard, is anything wrong with Mr. Cooper? I mean, typically.
No, there's not anything wrong with him. He is at a training.
Okay.
He's at a county manager training in Austin, Texas.
Okay. Oh man, he's having a good time. Yeah. Okay. And the second was, and this is more to what we had talked about at one meeting when Mr. James Brown from our water resource over at off Alcovey, and it was about a report. Because I told him I had a report, I think when he was here, I had a 30-year report said in 30 years that the Newton County water supply was going to be at capacity. And I relayed that information that I had to him. And he told me there was an old report that I had received and said that the capacity would be in year 2050. And so I asked for that report along with the summary so that I could look at it and make, and see what was reported. I didn't get the report. I need that report because if there's going to be a capacity in 2050 to 2030, I think that we should be proactive rather than reactive and for us addressing that particular problem. So I guess Mr. Chairman and Ms. Jackie, could y'all pursue that report for me, please? Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Commissioner Sanders.
Yes, ma'am.
I informed a resident while we were in the elevator, I was going to mention this. The back door is supposed to be for those who have disabilities and so forth to be able to get in the building. They're having issues in regards to getting in this building to come to the meeting. So they have to climb the stairs or get on the elevator and so forth. But or climb the stairs to get to the area from the front door. They cannot use the back door. So can we put something in place? I know the county manager is not here, but our acting county manager at the moment, we need something put in place for those who have disabilities who cannot walk up the front stairs to get into this building.
Thank you.
Nobody's answering the doorbell.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Next on the agenda is, let's see, item number 9, the consent agenda. I seek a motion that we approve, please. It's been motioned by Commissioner Edwards and second by Commissioner Mason. All in favor? It passes 5-0, 4-0, I'm sorry. Ms. Hamp?
Mr. Chair, the next item we have on the agenda for discussion and consideration is item number 10, presented by our Sheriff, Mr. Ezell Brown, and Budget Director, Ms. Rubin. Sheriff's Office is requesting approval for a budget amendment to use the remaining $32,000 plus from fiscal year '23 SRL budget to support the various needs of the Sheriff's Office, funding source, Board of Education, for fiscal year '23 for a school resource officer budget. The amount is $32,614.50.
Thank you.
Is our sheriff? Yes, thank you.
Chairman Baines and those of you make up this body tonight, Ms. Jackie, always good to see you. This is my finance director, Ruben Pompello. We are here tonight for a simple fix. As stated earlier, there's a contract between the Board of Ed and the Office of Sheriff. And basically, the Newton County Finance is on a pass-through for the Office of Sheriff. And after fulfilling our responsibilities in the term of the contract, that was funds that was left over. And therefore, we request those funds to be placed in a line item so that we can use those funds for our needs there at the Sheriff's Office. We've already established a precedent some time ago, and we're just back tonight. And I guess I would ask the chairman or someone here who's a lot smarter than I am, is this a necessity of each time, or is this something that we can put in a rule where there's an outside contract, where there's funding from another source to keep from wasting your time? Is there something that we can put in place that the two directors of finance can get together at the closing of that budget cycle?
Correct procedure, right? That's correct procedure, right? Yes. Okay. You want to state it? All right.
As of right now, it is appropriate procedure for you to come in front of the board to make the request. Of course, this board has the authority to make any changes in the future if y'all wish to do so.
But you're seeking a motion for approval, though, right now?
Seeking a motion for approval, but I just thought I'd just laid it out since I was here, and just to avoid your time being wasted.
Commissioner Mason, Commissioner Henderson, I'm sorry.
Thank you. This is a question that I have, is that I remember I think just about every year, this time every year, that the Office of Sheriff had to come before us just to access surplus money that the Board of Education pays, I guess, for their resource officers who are also deputy. In other words, they're paying for additional deputies for us as needed for Newton County. And there shouldn't be no reason why Sheriff Brown or the Office of Sheriff should have to come before this board once a year for excess funds. It should be automatically transferred, put back in his account, however you want to do it. And so that we won't be worried with a housekeeping measure as far as funds being, as far as him having to come before the board and ask for those particular funds. So I don't think, unless it's some legal reason, that we should, would a motion be appropriate if the board would approve it, that those excess funds not come before the Board of Commissioners, that the sheriff have access to those particular funds? Cool. And I guess I'm asking for legal.
So that would have to come in form of a ordinance so that we can change our code of ordinances and the budget regulations.
Okay, so since we're on this particular topic, where in the ordinance does it state that? Because to the best of my knowledge, it just come before, it comes up as a housekeeping measure, and you come before the board and say, I would like those additional funding. And where's the ordinance
So,
can I get a copy?
so guys, let's make sure we stay on the right task. Let's get a motion on the floor first, and then you can discuss it. How you need to discuss it. So we can get a motion.
I guess, and I'm asking this from council. All that,
So let's get a motion on the floor so we can open it up for discussion. No, it's in our procedures. You have to open it up. You have to get a motion on the floor.
we're so moved as stated by the chair.
Thank you, sir. And can I get a second? Now, Commissioner Henderson, go ahead and finish up.
I think, well, the word think is not really the right word. I know that the office sheriff has more stuff to do than come here once a year and talk about excess funds that is from a contract that he has with the school system. There should be no reason that he should have to come here. Those funds should be automatically made available for him to use as he sees fit for the office of sheriff. And so why can't we make a motion? And once again, I'm getting back to legal, to go ahead and authorize him to do so.
Because it's a budgetary item, I would feel more comfortable if we followed state law and went through the proper hearing procedures. But that is something we can look into if the entire board or if 3 members of the commissioners wants us to look at it. We can definitely look into it and propose something to the commissioners.
So do we need another motion to put on, I guess, the agenda as soon as possible so we can address that particular issue?
If you get 3 members, she just said if you get 3 members of the board that would like to put it on there, you can.
We made a motion for a discussion. We're in the discussion, so
It's for discussion. It's for discussion. Go ahead. It's for discussion.
yeah. So we're just trying to make sure that we don't find ourselves in the same situation at least every year. So,
It will. Hey, they got 1 minute, and we're gonna go into zoning. So if you want to do that, if you want to keep the sheriff here all night, you can. That's your call.
well, I guess the motion is to approve, I guess.
Any more discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? It passed 3-1, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Ms. Applewhite, it's approximately 7:29. We're getting ready to go into our zoning hearing tonight. If you would, please come on up. You doing all right tonight?
I am, thank you, Chairman.
Guys, we want to ask if you're not speaking, please turn your mics off. Thanks. It's approximately 7:30. You can begin.
Thank you, Chairman. Good evening, Chairman and Board. So our first petition this evening is FLU 23-000005. This is a flume amendment to go to development node located at Highway 278 and 142. And today the applicant is actually put in a request for the board to table this petition for 60 days.
So moved.
Is there a second? Is a motion by Commissioner Mason and second by Commissioner Edwards. Any discussion? All in favor? It passes. Commissioner Edwards? You in favor?
Yes, sir, I'm gonna
It
skip to the
passes
next
4-0.
one.
Thank you.
Ready?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Chairman, our next petition this evening is a conditional use permit. This is case number CUP 23-000005. It is for a proposed luxury recreational campground. The existing zoning right now is agricultural residential, and our future land use is rural residential and parks, recreation, conservation. This is in the South River watershed. It is located at 552 Island Shoals Road, 552B Island Shoals Road, and Island Shoals Road. So there's approximately 3 lots that are down there. The approximate road frontage is 320 feet on the west side of Island Shoals Road. The 3 parcels total 100 acres, so they're each 98 acres, and then 1 acre and 1 acre. And the tax ID numbers are 0033-016, 0033-018, 0033-019. It is in the emerging suburban character area in Commissioner District 1. Current owner is Ronald Story and Stephanie Story Sachs, and our petitioner and the representative today is Dale Ulmer. An applicant's intent, as stated earlier, is to locate a luxury campground with no more than 20 cabins. And again, the parcel is 3 acres total, 3 parcels of a total of 100 acres. There is currently a home on the property that is no longer in use. And since the owner is relocated and the electricity has been disconnected. There's also an older home on the property that was built in the 1920s, but it's currently not habitable at this time. And the property abuts the Yellow River in the rear and has 2 lakes on it. And just brief history, on 7/25/2023, the Planning Commission tabled this petition so that the applicant could provide additional information. And then on 9/26/2023, the Planning Commission voted to approve this petition. Please excuse that error. This was recommended for approval by the Planning Commission. And then we have definitions here for the campground. I'm not going to read through that. It is included in all of your packets. And this is the applicable area for it as well. So in conclusion, the petitioner is proposing to have a 20-cabin luxury campground on approximately 100 acres. This will be a low-density development and with outdoor activities such as hiking trails, kayaking, and fishing. And the cabins will be approximately 200 to 400 square feet. The applicant will provide adequate parking and refuse areas to be approved by the county. So this use meets the standards set forth in section 510-140 for campground, recreational vehicle RV park, private. It should be approved. Staff recommends that should the Board of Commissioners approve the conditional use request to allow the luxury campground, that the approval will be with the following recommended conditions. So should the petition be approved by the board, it should be approved for a conditional use permit for a luxury campground subject to the owner's agreement to the following enumerated conditions. Where these conditions conflict with the stipulations and offerings contained in the letter of intent, these conditions shall supersede unless specifically stipulated by the Board of Commissioners. 1, the maximum number of cabins allowed will be 20. 2, amenities will include nature or hiking trails, fishing, camping, and kayaking. Number 3, an adequate refuse area will be provided for the campground. 4, road improvements as required by the transportation engineer must be completed. 5, trails leading to each cabin shall be wide enough to allow fire and emergency vehicle access. 6, the campground shall maintain 100 feet undisturbed perimeter buffer. 7, the entire campground shall remain under single ownership. At no time shall the parcel be subdivided and the cabins sold to individual owners. 8, all outdoor activities must cease at 11 p.m. And 9, prior to any permits being issued, all plans shall be approved by Development Services, the transportation engineer, and the fire marshal. Approvals must also be obtained from external agencies such as the Water Authority, Environmental Health, and Georgia Soil and Water Commission as needed. This is the location of the property on Island Shoal Road. So you have the larger property, 98 acres, and then the 2 1-acre lots. Currently zoned agricultural residential. The flume is rural residential, and then along at the back where the Yellow River is, it is PRC, Parks, Rec, and Conservation, the green area. South River Watershed, and in Commissioner District 1. This is a conceptual site layout showing the proposed location of the cabins, little red dots. This is a proposed location of the side trails, the walking trails they're looking to put in. Just a zoning site plan showing different areas, the lakes, the water, the river, and trails. And these are just examples that they've provided of what the cabins are going to look like. Some of them will have the A-frame. Others would have different shapes, but they're going to generally be about 200 to 400 square feet. And this is just another example of what the applicant has provided. And then we have these three. And again, this was recommended for approval by the Planning Commission. Are
Thank
there
you,
any questions for staff? If not, Chairman, the applicant is here.
Thank you so much. We're going to open it up for our public hearing tonight. This is an opportunity that we let the applicant and those that would like to speak in favor tonight to come at this time. Please state your name, your address, please. The applicant and those that would like to speak in favor tonight. You have 10 minutes to do so. Please state your name, your address for the record, please.
Good evening, Commissioners. Good evening to the public gallery. As stated, we're looking to develop a luxury campground in line with the rural agricultural feel of the area. It's low density. The development that we're doing has minimal impact, largely site assembled. We have been in discussions with the fire marshal, who has given us indications on improvements that need to be made to allow fire trucks access and turnaround. We've also spoken to the health department in terms of need for septic tanks. Again, very, very low density, 5 units, 2 people per cabin on roughly 100 acres. The purpose would be to provide people with access to outdoor activities, hiking, fishing, camping. We're not looking to put in televisions or entertainment facilities on the cabin, so noise pollution, etc., will be at a minimum. Also, we would like to work with local businesses to support the local economy. We're not going to open up a restaurant or anything like that. We will be working with local providers. That's it from my side. If there are any questions, either from the board or from...
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much.
Anyone else would like to speak in favor tonight? Is there anyone else that would like to speak in favor tonight? That portion of our public hearing is closed. We also allow 10 minutes for those that would like to oppose tonight. You may come at this time. You have 10 minutes to do so. Please state your name and your address for the record, please. Anyone that would like to oppose tonight? Anyone that would like to oppose tonight? Ms. Applewhite. That portion of our public hearing is closed. I think this is in District 1.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. At this time, I'd like to make a motion to approve conditional use permit 23-000005 with staff recommendations. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, sir. It's a motion by Commissioner Edwards and second by Commissioner Mason. Any discussion? Commissioner Edwards.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Ms. Applewhite, so to meet the conditions of a campground, they had to have at least one site, right? Is one site without a structure on it? Is that still the case, or was that ever the
Requirements
case?
for the campground. So I have them in here. So this is kind of intermingled with like the RV campground as well, but this would be more of, not for like the RVs and mobile vehicles. This would be more for site built, for lack of a better word, structures that will be on slabs. So they are allowed to have the various cabins there, which is why we have the conditional use permit for the board to consider if this is a use that we would like in the county.
And thank you. And if this property is ever sold, it reverts back to its agricultural and agricultural residential zoning. Is that correct? Or it reverts back to those stipulations. Is that correct?
If this use is discontinued, the use doesn't stay with the land. It moves on with the business. So if they discontinue it, it would cease to exist. And the land is currently zoned AR. It will remain that.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Ms.
The
Applewhite.
permit is just for the campground use while it's there.
Any more discussion? All in favor? It passes 4-0. Thank you, Ms. Applewhite.
Thank you, Chairman. Our next report, our next petition this evening is a rezoning. It is a companion case. It's REZ 23-000006. And the companion case to that is REZ 23-000007. And this is a rezoning to be able to locate a warehouse, a couple of warehouses on these properties. The applicant has requested of the board to table the petition for 60 days so that they can meet with the community to discuss concerns that were raised at the Planning Commission meeting.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to deny the tabling of rezoning 23-000006.
Second.
It's been motioned by Commissioner Edwards and second by Commissioner Mason that we deny the request to table this. Any discussion? Commissioner Sanders.
I would just like to hear from my colleague on the reason of denial. I just would like to understand what was the reason of denial, that's all.
I'd rather not say. I just motion to deny.
I just wanted to know what I was voting for.
Commissioner Henderson.
What was the Planning Commission recommendation?
The Planning Commission recommended denial for both this case and the companion case after it.
Let's not time. Let's do one case at a time.
Okay.
Yeah. Go ahead, Commissioner.
It was just that, I mean, for the now, for a reason. I missed. Did you say a reason?
They did not.
So can you tell the process if it's denied? Can you go ahead and tell the process? We will open it up for discussion. That way you. Yeah, we'll go through the public hearing. That way you will hear all the stuff that you want to hear. Any more discussion? All in favor? Any opposed?
And the reason why I'm abstaining is because I wanted more understanding of why we are denying. That's why I was asking my colleague to fill me in, because this is District 1, correct? And that's why I was trying to get more information. I believe in voting on accuracy and information, so that's why I was trying to find out more information.
Commissioner Henderson.
Okay. What typically Planning Commission always kind of gives a reason as far as the reason why they were denying it. And so I just have enough information to make a informed decision as far as voting against.
So what was your vote? Both did? Okay.
Reason, and they stated in the minutes the reason why you did an extension.
Okay, so it's 2-2, 2-4, 2 abstaining. So I break the tie, so we can hear, because that's a tie, right? 2 and 2 is a tie, right? Yeah. Thank you. I break the tie. I vote for the denial. That way, the commissioners can get a chance to hear what they was wanting to hear. Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman. So the first case of the two today, it's REZ 23-000006, and again, the companion case is REZ 23-000007. The existing land use map is a development node. The existing zoning is agricultural. The proposed zoning tonight is light industrial M1. This is located in the Little River watershed. The current location is 13739.
Hold on for a quick second. Y'all go ahead. Y'all go ahead. I know this is important because I know the commissioners want to get this information. That's why they abstain. So I'm gonna let you. Go ahead. Thank you.
The current location is 13739 Highway 278. Map and parcel number is 0124-011. The character area for this parcel is industrial heavy commercial. Total size is 7.6 acres, and it's in the Commissioner District 1. Current owner is Margaret Coons Living Trust, and our petitioner and representative today is Greg Osborne. And on history, on 9/26, the Planning Commission recommended denial of this project by a vote of 4-0. The applicant's intent is to rezone 7.06 acres from A, agricultural, to M1, light industrial, in order to locate the Newton County Logistics Center, which is industrial warehouse. And again, the site is 7.6 acres. It's located at the corner of Highway 278 and Social Circle Road. There's currently a house and barn on the property, and the property adjacent to it's adjacent to agricultural and residential zoning, and then there's a church opposite it across Social Circle Road. And a side plan that was submitted on August 30th to staff, it proposes 2 warehouses to be located on the property. The northernmost building is going to be 526,400 square feet, and the southernmost building, 342,720 square feet. They're proposing to have 538 regular parking spaces and 241 trailer parking spaces. The plan also proposes 2 side entrances, one on Highway 278 and the other along Social Circle Road. It also includes, the stormwater ponds to handle the runoff, and it proposes all the setbacks that are required. In terms of land use and density, the applicant is proposing to use the land for distribution warehouse, and the proposed use reflects the development node designation on the land use plan, and it is consistent with the applicant's request. Given the existing zoning and development in the area, the proposed zoning may be appropriate for this area. The owner has provided a preliminary site plan that meets the minimum requirements for an industrial warehouse. GDOT approval is still required for an access point off of Highway 278. So because of the scale of this project, it met the requirements for a development of regional impact, which is, it goes to the state and to the Northeast Georgia Regional Commission. They complete a review and they release a report, and this is a summary of their report. And one of the things they looked at was their regional plan compatibility to see if this project is compatible with that. And they had the following recommendations for these 6 criteria that they have. So with regards to enhances economic mobility and competitiveness, the applicant stated that the regional workforce is sufficient to fill the demand created for the proposed project. In terms of if it elevates public health and equity, Northeast Georgia found that the proposed development would leave open green space surrounding both warehouses, and they recommended that they use it as an amenity area for their employees. In terms of it supports and adds value to existing communities, the Regional Commission found that due to their nature, the proposed warehouse does little to add to the character of the area beyond providing additional jobs within the county. In terms of creating housing that is diverse, adequate, equitable, and affordable, the proposed development does not include any housing, and the county should be cognizant of whether there is adequate housing around the development to provide affordable housing for any potential employees. And their 5th criteria, which includes transportation choices, and if it's well connected with existing and planned transportation options. And the Regional Commission found that the proposed development is in an industrial and auto-centric area of Newton County, and that there are few residential or commercial land uses in the surrounding areas. Therefore, there's limited need for pedestrian or bicycle infrastructure. And the final criteria that they had was projects, natural and historic resources. And they said that the proposed development would be located directly east of Nelson Creek, and the creek's 100-year FEMA flood boundary overlaps with the site's 75-foot transitional buffer near building number 1. And they recommended retaining a forested buffer along the side of the site closest to the Nelson Creek is encouraged, as this buffer would serve to improve the site's flood resilience, reduce erosion, and buffer noise from I-20, and on site for the benefit of the surrounding residential areas. So those are some of the comments that they had. They also further added in their report potential interjurisdictional impacts. And here the applicant stated in their reports that the project would likely affect water supply watersheds, as the proposed project would be in the Little River watershed, which is one of our protected watersheds. The applicant states that the floodplain, river, and wetlands do not fall on the property and are approximately 500 feet west of the property. In regards to stormwater, they have provided, they've estimated that 49.9% of the site will be covered in impervious surfaces, which will cater for stormwater management runoff. The applicant has stated there are no hazardous waste would be generated. And the Regional Commission has recommended the proposal should be designed to minimize disruption to the existing streams, associated wetlands, and floodplains to avoid future erosion, flooding, and degraded water quality on site and downstream from the site. We also had preliminary comments back from our Public Works Department. The transportation directors indicated that the proposed warehouse development will be required to limit all access points to State Road 12, which is Highway 278. Or they would have to upgrade Social Circle Road and the Social Circle Road intersection with State Road 12 to current county and GDOT standards. Required roadway upgrades would include a minimum 60-foot right-of-way, 12-inch lanes with paved shoulders and turning lanes at the intersection of Social Circle and State Road 12. The applicant provided a traffic study, and such a summary was done by A&R Engineering, Inc. And the study projects that there will be 1,411 new daily trips, including 128 morning peak hour trips and 131 afternoon peak hour trips from the proposed development. The traffic study recommends that a right turn lane and a left turn lane be added along US 278 for traffic entering the site. Character areas. So the entire proposed development is located in two character areas, industrial, heavy commercial, and a live-work character area. This particular parcel, this is the southernmost parcel, 7.6 acres, is located in the industrial, heavy commercial character area, which would support this kind of zoning. The adjacent lot above it to the north happens to lie in both, and we'll look at that when we do the companion case. So in conclusion, the proposed development is a warehouse distribution center located on Highway 278 and Social Circle Road. The project is to be located on this parcel and the adjacent parcel to the north, which we'll discuss in the companion case. The character area of industrial, heavy commercial, and the flume of development node would both support a rezoning to M1 for this parcel. However, the proposed project is also located in the Little River Protected Watershed, which requires conditional use permits for certain uses per section 420-030. The Northeast Georgia Regional Commission stated in its report that there is potential for the watershed to be affected by this type of development. They also identified areas in their regional plan which the use is not compatible with. An applicant has not acquired preliminary approval from GDOT at this time for the Highway 278 access point, and the Transportation Department has identified significant improvements that are needed on the Social Circle Road access point. So while the proposed industrial use is consistent with the policies and intent of the comprehensive plan and the future land use map, consideration should also be given to the potential effects on the Little River watershed, compatibility with the Northeast Georgia Regional Commission's regional plan, and other external agencies' approval that would still be required for this development. Recommended conditions. Should the petition be approved by the Board of Commissioners, it should be approved for rezoning to M1 light industrial for an industrial warehouse or logistics center, subject to the owner's agreement to the following enumerated conditions. Where these conditions conflict with the stipulations and offerings contained in the letter of intent, these conditions shall supersede unless specifically stipulated by the Board of Commissioners. 1, to the owner's agreement to restrict the use to the following. A, complete a minor plat combination with the adjacent lot, map and parcel 01244011 on a companion case, REZ 23-00007. B, applicant must provide compliance with all required setbacks. C, the owner shall meet all requirements of Newton County ordinances prior to any permits being issued. D, the owner applicant shall obtain approvals from Development Services, Public Works, the Fire Marshal, and external agencies such as GDOT, the Water Authority, Georgia Soil and Water, prior to any permits being issued. E, the proposed warehouse development will be required to limit all access points to State Road 12 or to upgrade Social Circle Road and the Social Circle Road intersection with State Road 12 to current county or GDOT standards. Required roadway upgrades include, but they're not necessarily limited to that, is 60-foot minimum right-of-way, 12-inch lanes and paved shoulders and turning lanes at the intersections of Social Circle Road and State Road 12. And F, restrict the use to industrial warehouse purposes. G, no outside storage of warehouse products or items. And H, obtain a conditional use permit per the Little River watershed for the following uses as applicable. So 1, industries or businesses that distribute or warehouse hazardous material. 2, uses that provide for the sale of fuel for motor vehicles. 3, combined animal feeding operations. 4, landfills or wastewater disposal facilities of any kind except for septic tanks approved by environmental health. 5, underground or above ground fuel or chemical storage tanks. 6, the manufacture of chemicals and allied products, dairy products, fats and oils, leather tanning, meat, fish and poultry packing, paper and allied products, petroleum and related industries, primary metal, rubber and plastics or concrete products. 7, junkyards and auto wrecking facilities. 8, bulk storage of petroleum. 9, truck terminals. 10, railroad terminals, classification yards or intermodal freight terminals. 11, auto and truck sales and rental and repair shops. And 12, auto and truck washes, primary and accessory. So this is the location of the southernmost parcel, which is right at the corner of Highway 278 and Social Circle Road. Currently Zone A, agricultural. It is in the development node, Flume, Little River watershed, District 1, Commissioner District 1. And it's in the industrial heavy commercial Carter area. This is the survey that was provided by the applicant for this southern parcel. This was the original concept plan that was submitted, but the applicant has since submitted an updated plan, which is this one here. So this is the most recent updated site plan of what the applicant is proposing. And if there are no other questions, the applicant does have a few slides he would like to share with you.
I'm sorry, say it again.
If there are no other questions for staff, the applicant is here and he has a few slides he would like to share with the board.
Thank you. We're going to take this opportunity now to open it up for our public hearing tonight. The applicant and those that would like to speak in favor tonight, you may come at this time. You have 10 minutes to do so. If you would, please state your name and your address for the record, please.
How do I change them? Good evening, commissioners, all attendees. My name is Greg Osborne. I am managing partner of Longleaf Commercial Properties. This is our aerial with our site. You can see our site in blue on the overhead. You can also see that, see if I can make this thing work. You can see that Facebook is less than a mile from our site, and that Rivian is 9/10 of a mile from our site. Next slide, please. I guess that's me. This is the land use plan, the Newton County land use plan. You can see everything in purple is industrial, heavy commercial. If you can see the indication, thank you, Gina, industrial, heavy commercial, except for this green part at the top of my site that is live, work, play corridor. This is really not very practical. It's too close to I-20, and the blue dotted line represents a massive Georgia Power transmission line. I'd like you to also understand that the boundary between the purple and the beige color is Nelson Creek. Nelson Creek has a 100-foot wide forested buffer on each side, so that's 200 feet in total plus the width of the creek. This is our site plan. As you can see, the truck docks are internal to our site for both buildings. Building 100 has a truck dock that faces I-20. Again, our western border is Nelson Creek with 200 feet of forested buffer. we plan to install an evergreen screen along Social Circle Road and a portion of Highway 278 that will consist of evergreen trees that will grow to the height of 40 to 60 feet. Economic impact, 500 to 700 jobs, $750,000 to $1 million in property taxes. Some of the members of the public have been concerned this will raise a property tax. That has no merit. In fact, this will lessen pressure to increase residential property taxes because it will increase the tax base for the county. And clearly, an industrial building is not a comparable for a single-family home. As far as traffic is considered, we hired a consultant that does 76-page report, including cameras all along our site to document existing traffic. The report concluded that our site was suitable for the use, traffic-wise and density, with improvements to Highway 278, and this report was submitted to the Northeast Georgia Regional Commission, which produces a report called our DRI. The DRI conclusion was the site was suitable for our use, including traffic and density. Some of the numbers that you saw in the report on numbers of trips, I want to clarify. A trip is in and out, so you have to divide these numbers by 2. Okay, so in the peak hour, we have 9 trucks coming into our site, 8 trucks leaving. In the PM peak hour, we have 14 trucks coming into our site and 12 leaving. So the vast majority of the numbers that you're seeing are automobiles, not trucks. So I want to make that clarification. As far as the staff report goes, I'd like to make a couple of comments. We agree with all of the conditions, and with a few exceptions, we've asked that the no outside storage be changed to a maximum of 25% for each truck dock. Remember, the truck docks are interior to our site. They cannot be seen from the perimeter. And the second thing is we ask that light manufacturing be added as a conditional use permit. A few other points that I think have merit in terms of the staff report. The 7.6 acre site is listed as currently zoned as agricultural. That's not true. It's currently zoned as residential. The larger tract, 83 acres, is in the staff report is noted as residential. It's currently zoned as agricultural. This is an assemblage. Instead of 2 parcels that have been presented in the report and in the Planning Commission hearing, there are actually 3. We discovered a 3rd parcel that was not known in Newton County or the tax assessor's office or the man that owned it. It's landlocked between the other 2 parcels. It's owned by Earl Bars. It's 1.1 acres, and it is zoned agricultural. We submitted an application for rezoning for that 3rd parcel. It has been ignored in the report. It has been ignored in the presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Anyone else would like to speak in favor tonight? Anyone else would like to speak in favor tonight? That portion of our public hearing is closed. We also allow 10 minutes for those that would like to oppose tonight. You may come at this time. Please state your name and your address for the record, please. Anyone want to oppose tonight? Please state your name and your address for the record, please.
Thank you. My name is Dave Norton. I live at 4357 Highway 142, Newborn, Georgia. The petitioner said last week at the Planning and Zoning meeting, he said, held up his sign, beautiful building. He said they're not warehouses, they're distribution centers. Well, you know, the trucks that go around and pump out septic tanks and outhouses, they call them honey wagons. It doesn't change the smell. It still stinks up the whole neighborhood. If you want to know what's to come with these warehouses, and this is just the first one, ride I-20 going through Conyers and look at all the warehouses that's going up right there on I-20. Is that what we want Newton County to look like when people come through? Longleaf Properties just had buildings approved in the city limits of Social Circle by the Social Circle City Council on the bypass right there where Stanridge Color is, if you're familiar with the area. If you look at the maps, it shows Social Circle Road crossing I-20, and that's where the maps start in here. That's where they stop. If you go on out Social Circle Road, you'll come up on Highway 11 within sight of where the bypass starts. So if the trucks want to go from one warehouse to the next, or distribution center from one to the next for Longleaf Properties, they can go the roundabout, through the roundabouts on 278, up by the truck center that hasn't been built yet to get there, or they can go out 278 the other way across the interstate and get there that way. But if there's traffic and the truck driver, he's going to beat the traffic, he's going to save his gas, a sign will not stop him. He's going to go Social Circle Road through a residential district, through, like a man said last week, his kids play on that street. That's a residential street. It may be zoned industrial, but there's quite a few families there. There's several fairly new houses on that road. If you see item 3 on page 5, let me find that. Give me 1 second. It talks, and he spoke on it a minute ago, about the daily trips in and out. They're still trucks, they're still big, and it's just an increase on what's already there and what's going to come. Like I said, this is just the first one. So if there's more, then there's even more trucks. If you come up 36 from the south side in the city of Covington, there's one of them pull-behind temporary signs, and it's flashing no trucks through town. Well, if it's good enough for the city of Covington, why isn't it good enough for you and I? He stated on just a few minutes ago about the benefit of the increase in the tax base. You've seen this type of growth in other counties around us. How many of those counties have decreased the tax rate for their property tax rate for their citizens? Where is our benefit? Pay close attention to the Public Works comments regarding road improvements and the items in adding value to existing communities on page 4. Where is our added value? Personally, I have no problem with someone making a profit on their investment. It's the American way, it's their right. We all want to do that on our investments. But there's a big difference. They have a few dollars, maybe if more than a few dollars. They have dollars invested. We have our whole lives invested in these homes, in this area. We've been here a while, some longer than others. I have one more. Okay, I had something else too, but I'm just going to go to this and end it so other people can speak. Newton County was pitched to me as God's country years ago by my coworkers. I've never heard anyone refer to Fulton Industrial, Lawrenceville, or even LA in California as God's country. Covington has claimed the nickname of Hollywood in the South. I ask you, please do not make us LA of the South. Thank you.
Anyone else would like to speak in opposition? Please state your name, your address for the record, please.
Good evening. My name is Kim Shea. I live at 60 Quail Valley Road in Social Circle. This was not on my agenda to actually speak about this. In fact, I had no idea that it was even coming up. But I did want to speak in terms of what I did not hear from the applicant was the light pollution that this could occur in our area of the town. Right now, you can see all the stars at night. And the more that this area develops, the less that we can see. I also question the watershed impact that it's going to have because we've already seen that from development that is there. I also question the validity of the number of jobs that he mentioned that this would bring in. 500 to 700 jobs is a lot of jobs for something that is just a distribution center. In terms of it being a distribution center or a warehouse, I've worked at a distribution center, and the traffic is immense. And it's not 9 trucks a day, it's a lot of trucks a day. And in terms of this facility and the way it looks, my husband works at one of these facilities in Conyers, and I can tell you, it's beautiful, but it still has a detriment to the surrounding area that it's in, to its residents, and also to the other commercials, retailers that are in that area. So I would strongly suggest that you vote this down.
Thank you. Anyone else?
I'll make this quick. My name is Bob Mulvihill. I live on 878 Social Circle Road, right where those trucks will be coming through. Just real quickly, we have approximately 14 residences on that Social Circle Road. When I first moved there, it was a dirt road. It is now a paved road, and it's hard for cars to get by each other. More or less, roughly 1,000 trucks, or I don't know what his number was, coming in and out. But there are children on this street. There are people that have lived here. We will be severely impacted by trucks coming up and down that road. And I'm using the same arguments I used with the Planning Commission, who deemed, in their wisdom, a 4-0 denial. So I'm hoping you stay with that. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else?
My name is Michael Downton, and I live on Social Circle Road. There are 2 particular houses that live on curves. I know you guys may not, but I am one of those guys that live on the curve. And when there's been accidents or shutdowns on 20 and traffic starts coming down Social Circle Road, I've almost been hit several times. These people increase the traffic of having 700 employees coming up and down our road. That is going to be tremendous. You just approve somebody to have a cabin so they can have hiking trails and horses walking up. This is what we have on our road. This is our sanctuary, and you put this distribution on our road, it's going to take that away from us. Our road gets paved maybe once every 5 to 10 years. There's a pothole that comes up constantly, the same spot. Put 700 to 500 cars up and down that road. That attention's going to need to be there. And it's just not. All right, that's it for me. Thanks.
Thank you. Anyone else? Guys, we have 1 minute and 33 seconds left.
My name's Ron Downton. I live at 943 Social Circle Road. I moved here 50 years ago and built my home out of Atlanta. I wanted my children to be raised safely, and they ride up and down that road. My boys have now grown up. They have kids. They built a house next to us. This is going to increase the traffic down the road. It's going to be unsafe for our kids. They didn't mention how many trucks would be actually parked in that parking lot. That trucks do leak, and they add to, when it's rained, it's going to add to the chemicals that's going to put into the ground and the creek. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? You got 52 seconds. 52 seconds. Please state your name, your address for the record, please.
John Clemens. I live at 152 Deep Step Road, approximately 2-3 miles west of this. I drive this road on a regular basis. One of the biggest issues that I want to bring out that's always brought up is the taxes that are brought to our county, but the taxes never get to me. My taxes have gone up for the last 3 years, and I expect that they will continue to go up. So this money is now going in somebody else's pocket. It's not coming in mine. It's not doing anything for me. So as far as that is concerned, that's a bunch of debunk. You really need to think about that. Taxes don't get to where they really need to get. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Ms. Applewhite, if you would, please come on up. I'm sorry, anyone else? We have 21 seconds. Anyone else? Hey, guys, come on, guys, this is a live board meeting. Let's treat it like that. Thank you. Sir, please state your name, your address for the record, please.
My name is Jeff Spencer. Me and my wife lived at 30 Old Blue Point, Social Circle. I'll be really quick. All I got to say is noise pollution. We hear trucks all the time. When they hit the air brakes, it's horrible. There's going to be 10 times that amount. Light pollution, trash. There's trash all over the streets now. Imagine what it'll be like later. That's it.
Thank you, sir. Ms. Applewhite. No, he didn't ask for it. Sir, you didn't ask for it. The rules are you have to ask for it. Did he ask for it? Give it to him? Okay, we'll give it to you. Okay, sir. Come on up.
Clock start, please. Will you put the building up for me? I can't figure this damn thing out. The building. All right, this is a Class A logistics distribution facility. It's not a warehouse. The architect is the largest architectural firm in the world. Your Amazon package shows up on your front porch. It stayed in that building at least one night, okay? I've already addressed the traffic count. It's not 1,400 cars. It's half of that. It's 9 trucks in the AM, 14 trucks in the PM. I hope you don't let your children play in the streets. We are improving 278 by spending millions of dollars. There is no destination for a truck north on Social Circle Road. Trucks traveling to the east are going to be on I-20. They'll get off on exit 98, come down 278 to our facility. Trucks traveling to the west will get off 101, come to 278, come to our facility. They'll take the same routes out. They're not getting on Social Circle Road. We are improving Social Circle Road in accordance with the Newton County Transportation Department Director requests and requirements. Again, quite expensive. Property tax issue I've already addressed. You know, these are professional consultants on traffic, okay? They are professional consultants. The Northeast Georgia Regional Commission is made up of several agencies all over the state. Both said this is a suitable site for traffic and density. I understand the concerns of the public, but they don't know as much about traffic as these people do. The last thing that I will say is that...
Guys, listen.
The last thing I will say is the people that own the...
Hold on for a second, okay?
I'm sorry.
Guys, if we all will, we're going to ask you one more time, please to refrain from making outbursts. Thank you. And go ahead.
Last thing I'll say is that the people that are selling this property to me have been here for generations. They're 92-year-old women. They're trying to secure their future financially. The only way they can sell their land is for an industrial use. It has no other use except for a hunting club, which is what it is right now. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Ms. Applewhite. The public hearing is now closed. Go ahead.
Mr. Chairman,
Sir.
motion to deny REZ 23000006.
Is there a second?
Second.
It's been motioned by Commissioner Edwards and second, that we deny this, and second by Commissioner Mason. Any discussion? Commissioner Sanders.
Thank you, Mr. C. What I heard today was, this is our sanctuary. Newton County is known as God's country. Our children play on these roads. Children, we want to raise our children in safety. Noise pollution, light pollution. Now, I know my fellow commissioners were in place when y'all placed all these warehouses in District 3. People stated the exact same thing, but you still went against the people and put those warehouses. Currently, right now, Lido is causing noise pollution with Iris Brook. I just reported it. They're working overtime. I just reported it. So I want the commissioners to understand that what you don't want in your district, other districts don't want either. So when you dictate what you put in other individuals' district, remember, your people don't want the same thing either. It's supposed to be one Newton. So if you're gonna listen to the people, then listen to the people. Don't put certain things in certain districts that you don't want in yours.
Any more discussion? All in favor? Any let me do it again. All in favor? Any opposed? Can you state your reason, please?
Thank you, Mr. C. You know, I just didn't get the, I mean, the argument on both sides was good, and I concur with Commissioner Sanders as far as, you know, what you may not want in the other districts, especially ones in town. And then we're always putting up a whole lot of warehouses and housing stuff, and it's voting, even my fellow commission will outvote some of the commissioners of that district. I just don't have enough information as far as what it would do, impact the community, the way that their sin is going to impact the community. But yet on the other hand, when you think about the communities that have been impacted, so I just abstain because I just don't have enough information.
Thank you. That passes. No, it fails. It fails 3-1-1 extension. Well, the motion passes, but the item fails, sir. The item fails, sir. It failed. All right. Thank you. Go ahead.
Our Chairman, our next case this evening is the companion case. It's REZ 23-00007, which is companion to the REZ 23-00006. Existing land use map is a development node. I'm just going to go through the basics of this one here, but because it's similar to the one we just did, I'm not going to read through every single thing unless there are questions. So the existing land use map is a development node. Existing zoning is R1 single family. Proposed zoning is M1 light industrial. It's in the Little River watershed on Social Circle Road. And these are the two parcels. It's 0124010 and 12410A. The character area is industrial, heavy commercial, as well as the live work. And the parcel, the total acres is 83.852 acres, and 1.160 is the other parcel. This is also in Commissioner District 1. The current owner is the Donald Smith Living Trust, and our petitioner is Greg Osborne, as well as our rep today. And again, it's the same intent. This time it's just under 85 acres to build a mini warehouse. It was denied on 9/26 by the Planning Commission. And we just have the facts on the project site there, 85.012 acres approximately. Site plan is the same thing, the same size of the buildings, 538 regular parking spaces, 241 trailer parking spaces. Land use and density is similar in this case here. Still requires GDOT access. The findings for Northeast Georgia Regional Commission are the same for the previous parcel. It's the same for these two parcels. And again, we have the same potential interjurisdictional impacts as well as stormwater, public works, preliminary comments are the same, traffic study report is the same, 1,411 new daily trips. The character area is where there's a slight difference. So the entire proposed development is located in 2 character areas for these 2 parcels here. The industrial, heavy commercial, as well as the live work. And we'll see that in a second. And the conclusion is the same as the one I did. The only difference here is that while the proposed industrial use is consistent with the policies and intent of 1 character area in a comprehensive plan, as well as the future land use map, we do have to give consideration to any potential on effects of the Little River watershed. We have to give consideration that part of this parcel is located in the live work character area, which does not support industrial uses. We have to consider the compatibility with the Northeast Georgia's regional plan, and of course, other external agencies' approvals for access that will still be required. The recommended conditions are the same. I don't know if you'd like me to read it into the record, but they're the same for the read it in? Okay. So should the petition be approved by the Board of Commissioners, it should be approved for a rezoning to M1 light industrial for industrial warehouse or logistics center, and subject to the owner's agreement to the following enumerated conditions. Where these conditions conflict with the stipulations and offerings contained in the letter of intent, these conditions shall supersede unless specifically stipulated by the Board of Commissioners. And 1, the owner's agreement to restrict the use to the following: complete a minor plat combination to include the adjacent lot, which is in this case will be 0124-011 on the companion case. The applicant must provide compliance with all required setbacks. The owner shall meet all requirements of the Newton County ordinances prior to permits being issued. D, the owner or applicant shall obtain approvals from development services, public works, the fire marshal, and external agencies such as GDOT, the Water Authority, and Georgia Soil and Water before any permits. E, the proposed warehouse development will be required to limit all access points to the State Road 12, which is Highway 278, or upgrade Social Circle Road and the Social Circle Road intersection with State Road 12 to the current county and GDOT standards. And required roadway upgrades include a minimum of 60-foot right-of-way, 12-inch lanes with paved shoulders, and turning lanes at the intersection of Social Circle Road and State Road 12. And this may be amended as required by the Transportation Department. F, restrict the use to industrial warehouse purposes. G, no outside storage of warehouse products. And of course, H are just the conditions or the uses that would require a conditional use permit because they're in the Little River watershed, and you have the 12 uses listed there. And again, so this is the northern parcel we're looking at. There are 2 parcels, as Mr. Osborne mentioned previously. This one includes the parcel down at the bottom there that was discovered. So the 2 stars will show, this is our zoning. It's our 1 single family residential on this northern parcel. It's in the development node for those 2 parcels, so Little River watershed. This is our Commissioner District 1. So this is where this parcel is bisected by the 2 character areas. The green is the live work corridor, and then below that the purple is the industrial heavy commercial. So this is a survey showing the location of the 2 parcels. So this will bring the total parcels for the project up to 3. What is wrong with it? Okay. And this is just a close-up of that 3rd parcel that Mr. Osborne was referring to. And then you have the southern one that we just did previously in the last petition. This is our initial concept plan that was submitted. This is the updated site plan. And if there are any questions for staff, if not, I believe, yeah, Mr. Osborne is still here.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am. We're going to open it up for our public hearing now. The applicant and those in favor, if you would like to speak tonight, you have 10 minutes to do so. Please state your name and your address for the record, please. The applicant and those in favor. You may come at this time, sir.
Thank you. Forgive me, I'm a little bit of hearing impaired, so if I miss something, forgive me. I did request a 60-day deferral for this hearing so that I would have time to have town hall meetings with the public and try to come to some common ground. I am totally in favor of compromise, We think we've done the best we could to protect the community from this development. Light pollution, noise pollution, water pollution is a non-issue considering all the agencies we have to go through these days with the EPD and so forth. So I just wanted to point that out. I don't know if that was proposed earlier and denied. If it was, that's extremely disappointing. Thank you.
Sir, are you reserving your time? Are you reserving your time? Thank you, sir. Anyone else want to speak in favor tonight? Please state your name and your address for the record, please.
Yes. My name is Scott Daniel, 75 Old Hickory Lane, Oxford, Georgia. So my family's lived here for almost 40 years. We came here right out of college. I taught at Newton High School, taught chorus. My wife has been in the school system forever. She just retired principal at East Newton Elementary. I was executive director of the Arts Association for quite a few years. My board was Horace Johnson was the president, T.K. Adams on it. The reason I'm telling you that is I have a unique perspective. The last 8 years I've been in real estate and a real estate broker. I don't represent this project. I don't represent the owners of that land, but I do understand the big picture. The comprehensive plan that you guys just submitted to the state back in June clearly shows that basically from Facebook all the way to Nelson Creek as a logical way to use that land would be possibly industrial. And you were so wise to do that because otherwise we'll have warehouses everywhere potentially. And I think that's the fear of a lot of people here, and I understand it. I also understand back 2005 to right before the crash, there was enormous growth as they talked about the west side towards Conyers. It was a lot of projects real quick, real fast, and it blew up very quickly without a lot of planning as far as traffic patterns and so forth. And so that's what this community is afraid of. They're afraid with any growth on the by Rivian, all of that out there, that it's just going to become Gwinnett, where it's gridlock traffic all the time and it's just, chaos. This is not that. Because of the comprehensive plan that you guys put forth, you've organized the whole community in a very logical way with the character areas. And if you don't see a project like that in this spot, down the road, when everybody that's out here now is not here, there's a chance in a few years it's going to be something like smokestack type industry, just because it's in your comprehensive plan. And if you look at the big map that you showed a moment ago that showed Rivian is less than a mile away, once Rivian gets here, it's going to be a whole different feel right there anyway. The Nelson Creek is your division. And so it makes sense to me for a project like that because it contains it there. It's not going to spread out all across the east side of Newton County, which is what I can sense. So I see both sides of it, but I think this is a very logical project, and I do think it would bring jobs. And I also think it would be a way for you guys and the county to put a period, a stop to all of the Rivian and the Facebook. And this is like, boom, the end. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Anyone else would like to speak in favor tonight? Anyone else would like to speak in favor tonight? Thank you. Brian, would you hold 5 minutes and 56 seconds, please? We also allow 10 minutes for those that would like to oppose tonight. If you would come at this time, state your name, your address for the record, please. Anyone that would like to oppose tonight?
Again, for the record, my name is Bob Mulvihill. I live on 878 Social Circle Road, the road that's going to be impacted. I might observe that the two people speaking for Oxford, Roswell, Georgia, they don't live on Social Circle Road. I'm going to be the one that's going to be impacted. And the one thing that Mr. Osborne said that I find a little hard to believe is that Social Circle Road will not be impacted. Well, if it's not going to be impacted, why are you making improvements on Social Circle Road if not for the trucks to be able to turn into it? And anyone that lives in our area, by the way, the other thing too, that gentleman from Oxford, he wants that wall built so that Oxford doesn't get impacted. So, but the road improvements on Social Circle, anybody that lives in our area, and I'll have people come up and back me up, when 11 gets impacted, when 278 gets impacted, the only way to get to where these people want to build this 1 million square feet of warehouse is by Social Circle Road. It's the only one that connects everything. So, thank you for your time.
Thank you, sir. Anyone else would like to oppose tonight?
Good evening, Commissioners.
Good evening.
Board. I live on Social Circle Road. I've been over there, my family been over there for over 100 years. And we've seen a lot of changes coming. Like Mr. Paul said, it was a dirt road when we first got there. That road cannot handle the traffic. It cannot. The people that's gonna be coming into our neighborhood, the workers, they're gonna have to go somewhere. Social Circle Road, Highway 11. We already can't get out on Highway 11. 278, you say you're gonna make changes, but how you gonna widen Social Circle Road? You're gonna take up properties, horse farm, cattle, my neighbors got cattle, horses, goats. You're gonna take up all of that. We're not gonna have nothing. You're smothering us. The traffic, what about the air quality? What kind of air quality are we gonna have with all the diesels running? Like I said, you're gonna have spills. The road cannot handle that kind of traffic, not Social Circle Road. 278, there's gonna be a lot of improvement on it. You already got Rivian, Facebook, Meta. The traffic already shortcuts come through there. You can't walk on the road no more. You can't even pick up our own trash on the road. People come out here, litter, throw trash out. We can't pick that up. So I really wish you would deny this application for this occasion. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Anyone else?
My name is Ron Downton. I live at 943 Social Circle Road. Since the Social Circle bypass has gone in, I don't know about traffic studies, but since that bypass has gone in, we still have increased traffic down our road. Trucks come down it, big trucks. I believe there's an 18-ton limit on the road. These trucks can come in there with much more weight than that. I do oppose this. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Anyone else?
Again, Jeff Spencer, 30 Old Blue Point, Social Circle. My opposition to this, as I started to say before, rests with just living in that area. I know Facebook, you can look over to the east, you can't even see stars at all. That's just probably a minor point, but it'd be nice to actually see some. As far as trash on the road, it's disgusting. I mean, my wife and I pick up trash all the time. Just we can't stand it. I mean, and that's right now. Imagine what it's going to be later on. That's as far as noise goes. These air brakes, as I mentioned before, from trucks. I mean, I think everybody knows what an air brake sounds like on an 18-wheeler. It sounds like a bomb going off. It's going to be all over the place. Cars. I hear all kind of stuff. Highway 11 access from 278 in the morning, in the afternoon, there's a long line, and that's right now. Okay, even with the roundabout they're building, that's gonna help a little bit, but time you get all these things built, Rivian gets going, you won't even be able to get on 278. As far as a person living there, this is horrible. You know, it's like, you may as well just tell us our way of life is ended, but that's just our opinion. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Anyone else?
I'm Michael Downton. I live on Social Circle Road. Gentleman made the comment about, I hope you don't let your kids play on the road. Reality is, yes, our kids do play on the road. That's what happens when you live out in the country. You don't have nice little sidewalks and parks and everything to go play in. So you play with where you live. And this is where we live. And the reality of it is, I mean, you're hearing our guys talk. We take care of our neighborhood because the county don't. They don't clean up the trash. I mean, we get people to come out and mow the grass, but that's really about it. It's up to us to keep it clean. And this distribution center is not going to help us keep it clean. And that's what it's about for us. Facebook and Google, they're closer to the interstate. They don't have neighborhoods around them. This is what we have. Don't take away our sanctuary. That's what we're asking for here. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Anyone else?
Good evening, everyone. Alan Shippen, 25 Meadow Way in Covington, Georgia. Reason I oppose this, I'm opposed to the amount of traffic it's going to create. Traffic is already bad. It's getting worse by the day. This is going to create more traffic. As far as the jobs go, have these companies signed an agreement to only hire people from Newton County? Is that where the jobs are coming from? From my understanding, there's several counties that border us. The jobs are going to be split among those counties. The other thing is, well, I won't get into that. I'll just say I oppose this, and I hope you do as well.
Thank you, sir. Anyone else?
John Clemens, 152 Deep Step Road. Again, taxes, 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 and my taxes keep going up. And these people promise money that's going to come into our county and lower my taxes. It has not happened. It ain't happening. And for him to stand there and say that, he may bring taxes to the county, but it's not coming to me. I don't know what y'all doing with it or whoever's running it's doing with it, but it's not getting down to the folks that are already living here and paying taxes now. Thank you.
Anyone else? Anyone else?
Dave Norton of Newborn. It was stated the site had no other use due to the topography and the power lines. If we can rezone it for one, we can rezone it for something else. My opinion, there's quite a few of them around. It would make a beautiful equestrian estate worth millions, bringing a profit to the owners. It was stated last week that the property was good for two things, industrial and hunting land. Well, I hunt and I know that the largest factor affecting Georgia's wildlife is a loss of habitat. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Anyone else? Anyone else? Anyone else? That portion of our public hearing is closed. Sir, you want to use your 5 minutes to rebuttal? I'm assuming that's a yes.
I'll try to find my site plan. Is this working, Sheena? All right, I figured out how to use my little red pointer. First, on property taxes, the increase in property taxes for this county can be used to improve your schools, sidewalks to your streets, including Social Circle Road.
Sir, if you would address the board.
Parks.
Sir, if you would address the board, please.
Okay, and parks. So I think that's a positive for the community. We have designed our site plan, as stated earlier, to include the truck docks interior to the site. They will not be seen from the perimeter. We've got a buffer all the way around here that's 200 feet wide. We're planting another buffer all the way here and here. We're improving 278 from our entrance to the intersection. We're improving Social Circle Road from our entrance to 278. There is no destination north on Social Circle Road for trucks. They want to get to I-20. They're going to use 278 to go to Highway 11 or 278 to go to exit 101. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Ms. Applewhite, please. Commissioner Edwards.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This time I'd like to make a motion to deny REZ 23-00007. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Is there a second? There's a motion by Commissioner Edwards that we deny this, and second by Commissioner Mason. Any discussion? All in favor? It passes 4-0. Thank you. It's denied, sir. Ms. Applewhite.
All right, Chairman, our next petition this evening is also a rezoning case, case number.
Hold on one second. Right. Can you check that? Thank you, sir. Ms. Applewhite, go ahead, man.
Our case number is REZ 23-000014. It's located on Highway 229. The parcel size is going to be 2.69 acres of 122.88 acres. The tax ID number is 0126-015. The existing land use map is rural residential. The existing zoning is A, agricultural. The proposed zoning is AR, agricultural residential. It is in the low-density rural residential character area. It's in the Little River Watershed, Commission District 1. Current owner is William T. Elliott Jr., and our petitioner is John Knight. The applicant's intent is to rezone the parcel from A, agricultural, to AR, agricultural residential. And a brief history: on January 24th, 2023, there was no quorum for the Planning Commission meeting. On February 14th, the Planning Commission voted 4-0 to recommend approval of the Flume amendment to rural residential. And on February 21st, the Board of Commissioners approved the Flume amendment to rural residential. On September 26, 2023, the Planning Commission recommended approval by a vote of 4-0 to approve the rezoning to agricultural residential. And again, he's only looking at 2.69 acres of the large parent parcel of 122.88 acres, which is currently zoned A, agricultural, and it's located on the west side of Highway 229, and the parcel is currently undeveloped. And the site plan analysis shows that the 2.69 acres, which is currently undeveloped, it's part of the larger parcel. And yeah, just repeating that. So the character area, it is located in the low-density rural residential character area, which would support the agricultural residential zoning highlighted in blue. And this is in your packet, so I'm not going to read through all the requirements for the character area. In conclusion, the proposed residential use is consistent with the policies and intent of the low-density rural residential character area and with approved zonings in the area. Given the land use and zoning designation of the surrounding properties, there is justification for approval of the proposed agricultural residential zoning. Recommended conditions. Should this petition be approved by the Board of Commissioners, it should be approved for rezoning to agricultural residential, subject to the owner's agreement to the following enumerated conditions. Where these conditions conflict with the stipulations and offerings contained in the letter of intent, these conditions shall supersede unless specifically stipulated by the Board of Commissioners. 1, to the owner's agreement to abide by the following development standards. A, submit a minor plat combining the 2.69 acres with parcel 126-027. B, submit appropriate plans or plats to be reviewed and approved by the Development Services Department, Public Works, Newton County Fire Services, the Water Authority, Georgia Soil and Water Commission, and GDOT as applicable. This is the location of the parcel. The area with a star, that is the 2.69 acres that the applicant is looking to rezone of, which is part of the entire 122-acre parcel. That section is still currently zoned A, agricultural, and they are going to be combining it with the little parcel just to the north of it to make a total of 5 acres. The rural residential flume was recently approved by the board. It is in the Little River watershed, currently in District 1. This is a survey that was submitted by the applicant, which is showing that the 2 parcels will be combined to form the 5 acres. And if there are any questions for staff.
Thank you, ma'am. We're going to open it up at this time for our public hearing. The applicant and those that want to speak in favor tonight, the applicant and those that would like to speak in favor tonight, you have 10 minutes to do so. If you would, please state your name and your address for the record, please. The applicant and those that would like to speak in favor tonight.
John Knight. I live 1501 Amberstadt Studded Road, Walton County. And the owner of the lot on the north is zoned AR. And to settle an estate, his relative wanted to give him extra land to bring him up to 5 acres. Well, what he wanted to give him is zoned agricultural, and the county will not let you combine 2 lots of different zonings. So that's the whole reason for the zoning, just so you can combine them. There's nothing going on other than that. The state owner of the big piece wants to increase that relative's lot size to around 5 acres, and it can't be done until the 2 zonings are the same. It's that simple.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Okay?
Thank you. Anyone else would like to speak in favor tonight? Anyone else? Anyone else would like to speak in favor tonight? You can take a seat, sir. Yeah. Anyone else would like to speak in favor tonight? Sir, would you like to reserve your time to rebuttal? Well, okay, all right, thank you, sir. All right, that portion of our public hearing is closed. We also allow 10 minutes for those that would like to oppose tonight. You may come at this time. Please state your name and for the record, please. Please state your name and your address for the record, please. Anyone would like to oppose tonight? Anyone would like to oppose tonight? Ms. Applewhite. I think this is also in District 1.
Mr. Chairman, thank you. Motion to approve REZ 2300014. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Is there a second? Second. It's been motioned by Commissioner Edwards and second by Commissioner Mason. Any discussion? All in favor? It passes 4-0. Thank you. Ms. Applewhite.
Chairman, our next petition this evening is it's also a rezoning case number REZ 23-000015, located at 84 Leicester Road on 1.94 acres. Tax ID, it's 00078-003. The existing land use map is mixed use. The existing zoning is R2, single family residential. The proposed zoning is highway commercial. It is located in the emerging suburban Carter area, in the South River watershed, and in Commission District 2. The current owner is Vicky L. Patrick, and our petitioner is Mark Walton. An applicant's intent is to rezone the 1.94 acres from R2 single-family residential to highway commercial for a proposed septic location for adjacent lots, which is owned by Georgia Highway 20 LLC. So this is a former part of their project. The site, again, consists of the 1.94 acres with R2 zoning and a mixed-use flume. There's a home located on the lot, but it's not currently in use. And again, the proposed use for this lot is to be able to include septic for the commercial use that they want to do on the adjacent lots, which would be 5361 Highway 20, 5369 Highway 20, and Highway 20, with a tax ID of 0078063A. History: on 9/26/2023, the Planning Commission recommended approval to rezone to highway commercial by a vote of 4-0. And in conclusion to the findings, provided staff's recommended conditions are incorporated into the development of the site, the proposed zone change to highway commercial is consistent with the policies and intent of the comprehensive plan and with approved zonings in the area. So based on the site plan that the applicant submitted back in July, staff has the following considerations in terms of land use and density. Right, applicant is proposing for the lot to be rezoned to the commercial use for septic purposes. And the comprehensive plan has designated the future land use for this 1.94 acres as mixed use, so it is compatible. The character areas we said is emergent suburban. This is included in your packets, so I won't read through it, but one of the appropriate zonings is highway commercial. And in conclusion, given the fact that the property is in proximity to commercial zonings and the applicant's proposed uses of the land, staff is of the opinion that the rezoning may be appropriate for this site. Recommended conditions: should this petition be approved by the Board of Commissioners, it should be approved for rezoning to highway commercial, subject to the owner's agreement to the following enumerated conditions. Where these conditions conflict with the stipulations and offerings contained in the letter of intent, these conditions shall supersede unless specifically stipulated by the Board of Commissioners. 1, to the owner's agreement to abide by the following. A minor plat must be provided by the Department of Development Services to combine this lot with the adjacent lot at 5361 Highway 20. B, to restrict the use of this particular lot for septic location only. And that's because Leicester Road will not support highway commercial. C, any required permits must be obtained from the Department of Development Services before any construction or development on the property. And D, permits must be obtained from external agencies such as GDOT, the Water Authority, Georgia Soil and Water Commission as applicable. This is the location of the parcel we're looking at. It's located on the internal street there at Leicester Road. Currently zoned R2 single-family residential. And the two lots in red that it's adjacent to, those are the two lots it's connected to. So the septic would be for those two lots there when the project gets there, when they decide to use that. The flume is mixed use, which would support the highway commercial zoning. It's in the South River watershed. And this is a survey that was provided by the applicant. And if there are any questions for staff, if not, the applicant should be here.
Thank you, ma'am. We're gonna open it up for the applicant and those that would like to speak in favor tonight. The applicant and those that would like to speak in favor tonight.
Hello, Chairman,
Good evening.
Commissioners. I'm Mark Walton with Patrick and Associates Surveyors. And if you'll notice, I work for Patrick and Associates, and this property is owned by Vicki Patrick, which is the founder of our company's widow. And it was originally owned by his parents, and they lived there for decades until their death. And since that time, it's gone on, and some of David and Vicky's children have lived there, and they've moved on to their own homes. And for the past couple of years, it's just the little house out there has sort of become derelict. And they were approached by the commercial property that fronts out onto Highway 212 and 20 there, and were asked if they would be interested in selling it for septic use only. And I would like to bring up in that condition B that the director read, we would also like to say septic and stormwater uses, which are both passive type uses. But the people that front the highway would like to use their property to have whatever retail use or uses that they're allowed, and they would just like to use this for septic and stormwater.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, and I would like to reserve any time if you don't have any questions.
Thank you, sir. 8 minutes and 51 seconds. We got you, sir. All right. Anyone else would like to speak in favor tonight? Anyone else would like to speak in favor tonight? Thank you. We also allow 10 minutes for those that would like to oppose tonight. You may come at this time. Please state your name and your address for the record, please. Anyone that would like to oppose tonight? Anyone that would like to oppose tonight? Ms. Applewhite. That portion of our public hearing is closed. Commissioner Mason.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I would like to take this opportunity to make a motion to approve REZ 23-000015 with staff recommendations.
Is there a second, please? It's been motioned by Commissioner Mason and second by Commissioner Edwards. Any discussion? All in favor? Passes 4-0. Thank you. Thank you. Ms. Applewhite.
Thank you, Chairman. Our next petition this evening is a conditional use permit. It is for case number CUP 23-000007. Proposed use is for truck parking and an auto body shop. It is located at 53 South Highway 11, Highway 11, and Highway 11. Parcel sizes are 6.3 acres, 1.35 acres, and 5.89 acres, which brings it to a total of 13.54 acres. The tax ID numbers are 0112-029, 0113-138B, and 0113-138H. The future land use map, or the flume, is a development node. The existing zoning is general commercial, and it's also in the brick store overlay tier 2, which is moderate commercial. Character area is live work and emergent suburban. The watershed is Bear Creek, Commissioner District 1, and the owner is Tommy E. Breed Love, and our petitioner is Laurie Kingry. The applicant's intent is to expand the current dispatch use to add long-term truck parking and an auto body shop. And there's quite a bit of history on this. On September 26th of 2023, the Planning Commission recommended denial of this petition by a vote of 4-0. And the commission stated that the applicant was trying to exceed the current conditions that were already in place by the board. On September 27th, 2012, there was a variance. The BZA approved VAR 12-000127 to waive the requirements to install sidewalks and a decel lane along Highway 11 South. And these were the conditions that they had in place, which I won't read all of them, but for condition 2, it just said that at such time that the proposed use of the property is either changed or expanded, which is what we're requesting, which is what the applicant is requesting today. The plan director, in conjunction with the county engineer, may require the installation of a decel lane and or sidewalks prior to the issuance of a new or renewed business license. So this will like the board to keep that condition in mind for the variance. And then on November 20th, 2012, the BOC approved the following. They approved a rezoning, REZ 12-00126, which was to rezone the property from neighborhood commercial to general commercial. And they also approved a conditional use permit at that time, CUP 12-000125, which was a conditional use permit to allow a truck dispatch facility to be located in the general commercial zoning and the Bear Creek watershed. And these were the conditions that they put in place at the time. These are included in your packets, so I won't read through them at this time. And this is a list continued of the conditions that they put in place. They had some restricted uses and some other items that they required. So coming back to today's project, the subject site is approximately 13.54 acres total and in tier 2 of the Brick Store Overlay District. So the current dispatch use is located at 53 South Highway 11. And the current business is also located only on that lot. And this lot was found not to be in compliance as there were several businesses operating on the property without business licenses at the time, which included the auto body shop. The owner would like to include two adjacent lots, 0113-138B and 0113-138H, to add long-term parking, and as well as to bring the auto body shop business into compliance. So the property is located in the Brickstore overlay and the Bear Creek watershed, both of which these require a cup for the uses that are being proposed. And two of the properties have road frontage. The third property is in the rear and landlocked. And I just have the definitions here for the auto repair or a body shop, as well as the requirements for it. Again, these are included in your packets, so I won't read through those. And then, of course, for the truck parking slash dispatch, these are the definitions as well as the requirements. And the site plan analysis. So based on the site plans and the renderings that were submitted by the applicant, on July 7th, staff offers the following considerations when looking at fencing, lighting of property, property development standards, general design standards, and signage. So the applicant is proposing to expand the current truck dispatch facility to include long-term truck parking and an auto body shop to complete minor repairs. The auto body shop currently operates out of one of the buildings on the property but does not have a business license. The area of operation is approximately 2,000 square feet. The property has a gravel parking lot with currently U-Hauls, RVs, and trucks currently parked there. And the site plan proposes adding 105 tractor-trailer parking spaces to the existing 50 spaces. It also shows a double row of evergreen trees on the perimeter and a 150-foot buffer on the northern portion of the property. So in conclusion, the property is zoned general commercial, which allows truck parking and an auto shop. It would be with a conditional use permit, however. They are in the Brickstore overlay as well as the Bear Creek watershed, and like I said, which requires a CUP to operate. There were multiple businesses operating on the property without a license, and code enforcement has concerns addressed those. So should this petition meet the standards of Division 470 of the 2009 Newton County Zoning Ordinance, it may be appropriate for this location. The site plan proposes adding 105 tractor-trailer parking spaces to the existing 50 spaces. It also shows a double row of evergreens. Staff recommends that should the board approve this CUP request, that the approval be with conditions listed below. Recommended conditions. So should the petition be approved by the Board of Commissioners, it should be approved for a conditional use permit to expand the current use for truck parking and add a minor auto body shop, subject to the owner's agreement to the following enumerated conditions. Where these conditions conflict with the stipulations and offerings contained in the letter of intent, these conditions shall supersede unless specifically stipulated by the Board of Commissioners. 1, to the owner's agreements to abide by the following development standards and regulations. So 1, all conditions from REZ 12-000126, CUP 12-000125, and VAR 12-000127 shall remain in effect. Only truck, RV, and boat parking shall be allowed. An auto body shop completing minor repairs shall be allowed in the existing 2,000 square foot building number 2 on the property it currently operates out of. This shall not conflict with the BOC condition number 1A2 from the REZ 12 case as well as the CUP 2012 case, which prohibits major auto repair and auto sales. 4, there shall be 150-foot undisturbed perimeter buffer around the site. This may be reduced by 75 feet by an opaque wall or fence per section 510-665. And we have 5, a minor plat must be completed to combine parcels 0112-029, 0113-138B, and 0113-138H. 6, obtain and maintain a business license. 7, all activities for the minor auto body shop shall be carried on entirely within the enclosed building. 8, all landscaping to be approved by the county. Lighting shall be downcast, cut off luminaires facing inward to the property. 9, adhere to the requirements in the ordinance for truck parking. 10, obtain a variance to allow truck parking less than 500 feet from residential zoning. And 11, prior to any licenses being issued, all plans must be approved by Development Services, the Fire Marshal, Public Works, and all applicable external agencies such as GDOT, the Water Authority, and Georgia Soil and Water Commission. This is the location of the properties currently. So 55, Highway 5311 is the one that shows the current parking area with trucks on it there. They are proposing to add the other two lots at the bottom. One is landlocked, the one to the east, and then we have the one closer to the road. Current zoning is general commercial. It's in the brick store overlay, shown in the pink, kind of brownish area down there. Development node is the current flume, is in the Bear Creek watershed, and this is in Commissioner District 1. These are the surveys that were provided by the applicant. These are the last two parcels. This is the proposed site plan where they showed a 150-foot buffer to the north of the parcel, that little white area there. They do need to show it on the eastern side as well. And then we have the existing parcel close to the road and the two proposed parcels they're looking at. And then the hatched area shows where the proposed truck parking is going to be. And it is a gravel lot currently. These are photos that were submitted by the applicant. I'm just going to quickly go through them. The numbers correlate with the photos. So this is what the area currently looks like. You can see they have like the U-Hauls and so on currently parked there now. These are the buildings that are on there. I think this building, I believe is the one that has the auto body shop in it currently. I'm sorry, actually building number 2 has it. You have an RV out there, the gravel parking lot, trucks. And these are just pictures that the applicant provided that they wanted the board to see. And that's just the open area, the 2 other lots. And if there are any other questions, the applicant was not able to make it today. The representative, so if there's anyone, it is a public hearing, Chairman.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. We're gonna open it up now for those that would like to speak in favor tonight. Anyone would like to speak in favor tonight? Anyone would like to speak in favor tonight? That portion of our public hearing is closed. We also allow 10 minutes for those that would like to oppose tonight. You may come at this time. Please state your name and your address for the record, please. Anyone would like to oppose tonight?
Kim Shue, 60 Quail Valley Road, Social Circle. Once again, I did not think I would be talking about this. I came for something totally different. But this particular location, what the photos do not show you is the church that's right across the street, the church that's adjacent to this property, as well as the residential home that's on the corner of this lot. What you also didn't see in the package was the light pollution that is currently caused by the truck parking that is already there. And I find it very hard to offer anyone an approval when they don't currently have a business license and have been operating without a business license. So for those reasons, I would vote to deny this.
Thank you, ma'am. Anyone else would like to oppose tonight?
My name's Dave Norton from Newborn. I haven't studied this case like I did the others tonight, but I do live close to this. I've seen the signs up. I knew there was change being wanted to be done there. So my only thing is the right here on your agenda at the top of the page, thought for the day. Be the change that you wish to see in the world. Thank you.
Anyone else would like to oppose tonight? Anyone else would like to oppose tonight? Anyone else would like to oppose tonight? Ms. Applewhite. And I think this is in District 1.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Motion to deny CUP 23000007. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Is there a second?
Second.
It's been motioned by Commissioner Edwards and second by Commissioner Mason. Any discussion? Commissioner Edwards.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Ms. Applewhite, what other businesses without licenses were operating on this particular piece of property?
Yeah, they had the auto body shop. There was like a slight kind of small distribution center, packaging was another one that was out there. So it was, and then of course the truck parking, the long-term truck parking that was not originally allowed in there. So they were, again, 2 or 3 other businesses. Those have since, the owner has since gotten rid of those because of our code enforcement team that handled that. And this, the purpose of this CUP today was to bring the property into compliance by applying for a CUP to do the long-term parking and to keep the auto body shop there, which has been, I think, like 3 or 4 years out there and no license.
Thank you. One other point, Mr. Chairman, is I know when we allowed this facility to expand several years ago, I forget exactly when that was, for truck turnaround. They used it to add the number of trucks to the lot, which was not part of the deal. So, thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Any more, Commissioner Sanders?
Director Applewhite, I'm trying to understand. So there is currently an auto body shop that's operational right now.
Yeah, minor repairs, according to the applicant.
And it's been there how long?
I think I was told about 3 or 4 years.
And so this is to get them in compliance.
They would like to, in order for them to even have operated in the first place, they should have come through this process of obtaining a CUP, which they did not. So they have been technically operating illegally for that time. And it was brought to our attention that that's what was happening on the property.
Wow.
Okay, so my next question is to Commissioner Edwards. The denial, and I don't know if you're able to answer my question, do we not want to, the business who's been operating for 3 years, even though it's not operational? I mean, it's operational because per the state of Georgia, you don't have to have a business license per the state of Georgia, but of course Newton County has an ordinance where we require that, but the state of Georgia does not require that. So I just wanted to find out, are we trying to stop the business or are we trying to help them get in compliance?
Commissioner Edwards.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you for that question. My hope is that they would come into compliance, but their track record of the conditional use permits has not been good. They abused this particular piece of property, abused the last conditional use permit we gave them. So my wish is that we deny this particular CUP and hope that they come into compliance. Who knows, sometime down the road they come back and apply again. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
So
thank you, sir.
So once, if this is denied, what is the next step for that business? Because my only concern is I apologize, I'm not familiar with the business that's in my colleague's area. So if it's denied, what is the next step for that business that's currently there?
If the conditional use permit is denied tonight, the business will not be able to operate because they don't have a special use permit from the board to do so.
And are they able to apply, once they get everything in compliance, their operational license and come through, I guess, zoning, planning?
Only if the CUP is produced tonight, only if the CUP is approved tonight, then can they apply for a business license. If the CUP is denied tonight, then they would have to cease operating there.
Okay, so what have they been doing so far that has been detrimental to the community? I heard some of the things, but from code enforcement leeway, what has been happening?
From a code enforcement standpoint, they were operating without a business license. That's what the initial complaint received came in for.
So that's the only thing as far as them being out of compliance, was just the business license? Was there anything happening that was affecting the community as per se?
We have not had complaints from anyone regarding that. So it would just be them just operating, without a license and without a special use permit to do the business there.
Okay.
So they've been out of compliance all these years.
Okay.
And they've never been issued a business license.
And the business license is the only issue?
They've never been issued one, so it's not a case where they're grandfathered in, because they never legally obtained a license or a permit to do the business there. So that's the risk they took with operating without going through this process and getting permission from the board.
And they currently own the building?
No, the building is owned by Mr. Breedlove. He owns the entire property. He is leasing it out.
To them, okay. Thank you.
Commissioner Henderson.
Thank you. So during this a period of time between them working somewhat illegally, did code enforcement go and give them like a letter of citation or something saying you have to maybe comply or take them to probate court or anything, or we just ignored it?
No. When we received this complaint, we issued them a notice. They have so many days, usually about 30 days, and in the meantime,
Yes,
they
ma'am.
can either come into the department and meet with us to discuss a path forward, which is what they did, and they opted to come and apply for the conditional use permit so they can get a business license. While that is happening, they're still allowed to work out there, so to speak, while we're going through this process. But based on what is decided tonight, that will determine if they can continue or if they just need to cease operating out of that building. They may have to relocate to somewhere else that is more suitable.
Commissioner Edwards.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So Ms. Applewhite, the truck terminal or the truck parking or the truck whatever is still allowed. That business is still allowed there, correct?
They have the current conditional use permit that we had. It allows, it says a dispatch, it's a dispatch, which usually allows trucks in and out. It's not necessarily for long-term parking, but yes, that business can
Right.
continue with the truck dispatch.
Right. So they're looking to add acreage and add a auto body repair shop. Is that correct?
That is what they're
That
requesting.
auto body repair shop is not allowed in Tier 2 though, right?
With a conditional use permit, it is allowed in the Bear Creek watershed, and Tier 2 does not prohibit auto body repair. It prohibits auto recovery, which is a different business. But the minor auto body repairs, and according to the definition, it's small items like mufflers and so on that they are. Let me go back to the definition for the auto. So it doesn't prohibit
But in the
this one.
overlay, the Tier 2 portion of the overlay
Yeah.
is this is not allowed?
It doesn't prohibit it. It only prohibits auto recovery. So, yeah, technically it would, because the brick store overlay defaults back to the general general use table. And in the general use table, that use is allowed in the zoning that they're in. So the zoning allows it, and then the Bear Creek watershed is what is requiring it to get this cup today.
Okay, but they are allowed to still function within the realm of their trucking operations, whatever they are.
The truck
correct?
dispatch facility, yes, they can do that part.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Ms. Applewhite.
Thank you, Commissioner Sanders. Any more discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? What was the planning commission?
Planning Commission recommended denial.
I support the planning commission. 3-2 denial. Thank you, Ms. Applewhite.
Thank you, Chairman. That was the last petition.
Thank you, Ms. Hamp.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. We are reverting back to number 11, Human Resources, requesting approval of the defined benefits plan contact between Newton County and the Association County Commissioners of Georgia, which is ACCG. We have our Director of HR, Ms. Amanda Shoemaker, and it is time sensitive. It is budgeted, pages 10 through 39.
Hello, everyone. Tonight, HR is requesting the approval of the defined benefits plan contract for our employees between Newton County and the Association of County Commissioners of Georgia. The funding has been previously approved in this budget season. The contract has been reviewed by Patrick with Gerard and Davis for legal sufficiency. And now I'm going to turn the mic over to Trey Johnson so that he can give you more specifics in terms of the highlights of the plan.
Thank you, Amanda. It's nice to see everybody again. My name is Trey Johnson. I'm the regional client manager with ACCG, and Newton County is part of my territory. So I make frequent visits out here to meet with your employees and work with them on their retirement. Like Amanda said, I just wanted to go over the highlights of the plan documents. So first and foremost, it'll be a January 1, 2024 effective date. The plan will have a 5-year vesting schedule with a multiplier of 1.25% and giving all employees all of their past service credit. In addition to that, employees will have the option to purchase a higher multiplier in 0.25% increments up to 2%. So in other words, an employee could purchase, they could choose to purchase an extra 0.25%, 0.5%, or 0.75%, bringing their total multiplier to 1.5, 1.75, or 2%. That would be an option for the employees to do. All full-time employees are required to contribute 2% of their compensation to the plan, and vested employees are eligible to draw their monthly benefit at age 65. There are no early withdrawal options, but I wanted to make a point that this will be a living document, a living plan, and amendments will be allowed to add certain enhancements or changes to the plan as it sees fit by the commissioners. Disability payments are available, so the requirements for that are an employee would have to be 50 years of age with 10 years of vesting service, and they would have to be deemed disabled by Social Security and have their awards letter, and they would be able to draw their monthly benefit at that time. There are death benefits that are associated with the plan. So there's pre-retirement death benefit, post-retirement disability, and deferred vested death benefits, which would equal to 50 times the monthly benefit amount, and that would be paid in the form of a lump sum to their beneficiaries. Once the participant or the employee is eligible to receive their monthly benefit, they would have the option to leave a portion of their monthly benefit to a survivor. And so that's part of the benefit election process that we help them with. And I'll be happy to answer any questions that you guys have about the plan documents or the plan itself.
Commissioner Henderson.
Thank you, Mr. C. I know with the City of Covington defined benefit plan, recently they gave their employees a 5% increase. Will we have something similar to theirs? I'm asking.
5% increase into.
In other words, they will give them a certain amount of money, and then this year they said that they will give them additional 5%.
Kind of like a cost of living adjustment.
Yes.
No,
yes.
sir. That's an option within the plan documents, but it's not included in the plan.
Can we get a motion, please?
Second.
It's been motioned by Commissioner Henderson and second by Commissioner Mason. Any discussion? All in favor? It passes 4-0. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Mr. Chair, the
Thank
next
you, ma'am.
item we have is item number 12, Public Works. Our presenter is Mr. Chester Clegg, Director of Public Works. They're requesting approval for the chairman to execute a contract with Newton Trails for the restoration of Cricket Frog Trestle over the Alcova River project. There are impact fees, contract amount $400,000, and that is in pages 40 to 50 of your books.
Good evening.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So Newton Trails has requested that Newton County partner with them to fund the rehabilitation of the trestle over Alcova River. And the trestle is the final major piece of the 14-mile Cricket Frog Trail that is needed to tie the town of New Bern to the Turner Lake Complex in the city of Covington. And the Path Foundation is a nonprofit organization that specializes in building multi-use trails and is offering consulting on the trestle rehabilitation for free. And Newton Trails and the Path Foundation are to provide the engineering, design, plans, and specifications. And the county will bid out and administer the construction contract. And so the cost estimate for the rehabilitation of the bridge is $700,000, and the contract says that the county would provide a maximum of $400,000 of the $700,000. And I have included the agreement in the package for your review.
Thank you, sir. Chester, you want to state what those funds is coming from?
The funds would be from impact fees and SPLOST.
Thank you, sir. I seek a motion, please.
Mr. Chairman, at this time I'd like to make a motion to approve for the chairman to execute a contract with Newton Trails for the restoration of the Cricket Frog Trestle over Alcova River.
Second.
It's been motioned by Commissioner Edwards and second by Commissioner Mason. Any discussion? Commissioner Sanders?
It's just basically in regards to the impact fees, and I don't see our finance director in the audience. My question was, how much do we have in the budget for of the amount of impact fees that has been collected so far? Because the reason why I'm asking that question is because a lot of the residents who are in the most dense areas that produce these impact fees don't see it going back into their communities. So I don't know if anybody in the room can answer that question of how much impact fees we have collected.
The finance director's not here.
Okay, if we can put that on record to have that question asked to the finance director to get that back to me to find out, because that has been the question posed to the residents of Newton County.
Any more discussion? All in favor? Passes 4-0. Thank you so much.
Mr. Chair, the next items we have on the agenda are items number 13 and 14. Mr. Jeff Prine will do the presentation. The first, number 13, BOC purchasing request approval of contract Sunbelt Builders for the design of the admin building renovations. And then also number 14 is requesting approval of the contract for Sunbelt Builders for the design of R.L. Cousins Center renovations. The SPLOST 2023 is the funding source for both. Both have been budgeted, and they are located on pages 51 and 52 of your books.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman and Commissioners. We, several weeks back, put out RFPs for design build services for both of these projects. We had multiple submissions. We worked with two different evaluation and selection committees to review those, both from the technical side and also from the fees. In both cases, Sunbelt Builders have been ranked #1. I have completed the negotiation with them as for the numbers that you see in your packet. And so tonight we are requesting the authority to move forward and get those executed and get those projects moving forward.
I seek a motion for number 13. It's a motion by Commissioner Edwards and second by Commissioner Mason. Any discussion?
Yes. Thank you.
Commissioner
Thank you, Mr.
Henderson.
This is in District 4. I would like to, I know it's kind of moving at fast pace, and I know that we haven't had a community meeting over at that, and I would like to not pause it, but have a community meeting as soon as possible, so we get Sunbelt, yourself, or Mr. Prime, and maybe the recreation director, Dwayne, over and have a community meeting at the T.K. Adams building so that we can address the community as far as the plans that are being taken place at the historic R.L. Cousins School. Okay. I'm sorry, I'm a little bit ahead of myself, yeah.
And I have an answer for you.
Any more discussion? All in favor? It passes 4. Mr. Bryan, go ahead.
So the process that we've got, to answer your question, the process that we've got built into the contract with Sunbelt is to work with the stakeholders and the tenants that are there to look at two options. Option 1 is to renovate the existing facilities. Option 2 would be to look at demolishing and building new facilities that are there. That will be put together in conceptual plans. They'll be costed, and then we'll come back to the board seeking direction of which way we want to move forward with that.
That's a good idea, but we want to advertise in time enough to let the citizens know to come over so that they can
absolutely
look at the plan. Yes, got to have input. Look at the plans and stuff, and so they go over and ask questions, and so they know exactly where we're going. And I just gonna say this: the stakeholders is anybody, any alumni whoever attended Aura Cousin School, such as myself and several others, who wants to have their input. And I'm gonna, if it's okay with this board, set up a meeting over at TK Adams Building so that we can put this meeting together. And I get with Ms. Jackie, and so as soon as possible, so that the people can come in and give their input.
So is there a motion tonight? Yeah.
So moved as stated by Mr. Prime.
Thank you, sir. It's been, can I get a second? It's been motioned by Commissioner Henderson and second by Commissioner Sanders. Any more discussion? Commissioner Henderson.
I would like to also amend my motion to make a part of it that particular community meeting, if I may.
Second.
Okay. It's been motioned by Commissioner Henderson and second by Commissioner Sanders. Any more discussion? All in favor? It passes 4-0. Thank you, sir. Next on the agenda is citizens' comments, I think. Yep, citizen comments. This opportunity will allow citizens 3 minutes to make comments. You have 3 minutes to come up and make your comments. Please state your name, your address for the record, please.
Hello, how are you guys? My name is Natravius Smith. My address is 7124 Pine Needle Drive, Southwest Covington, Georgia 30014. I'm coming today to ask you guys about an annual event that we have for the kids with Resilient Women, which is our annual trunk and treat. We've been trying to get in contact with you guys for a couple weeks now, and we usually have it at the Nelson Heights Community Center. I have a few dates here. The 22nd, I got in touch with Harold Cooper via email. Well, I contacted him via email. The 26th, I talked about it at the community meeting, and then I finally talked to his secretary, and it was told that they would get back to me. Nothing ever happened, and Halloween is approaching, so I'm just trying to see if we're going to be able to use the building, or are we not, or do we have to cancel the event?
All right, thank you, sir. Thank you. Anyone else? I'm sorry? Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, I got you. Anyone else? Citizen comments? Citizen comments? Commissioner Edwards.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'd like to thank my fellow commissioners for support on the plethora of zoning requests and flume changes and those items tonight. Thank you very much for the support, and you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you.
Sir, if you could hang around for a few minutes. Okay, thank you. Commissioner Mason?
I don't have any comments.
Thank you. Commissioner Sanders?
Just a short story. One winter morning, a van was on an icy bridge. The driver of that van lost control due to the nature of the bridge. Miraculously rolled on the rails of that bridge, witnessed by onlookers before thrown from the windshield, found under the tires of another vehicle. The left side of their face bore scars and all the skin scraped off their face, where chunks of flesh was missing from their leg. As they were searching for this person, they found them under the tires of another vehicle with 2 broken arms. That person I'm talking about is myself, Commissioner Sanders. The reason why I brought up this story is because a month ago, well, about 3 weeks ago, I requested a county vehicle. And I've never had any issues requesting county vehicles. I've always gotten the same vehicle. Just recently, last time when I requested that county vehicle, there was some situations where there was a check engine light. And so I stated I wanted to make sure that when y'all give me county vehicles, because the commissioners changed the policy, that we are to utilize county vehicles. And so I said, I just want to make sure that it's a maintained vehicle, so if I'm driving 3 hours as a female, that I'm not in Timbuktu on the side of the road because it has not been maintained. The county manager, after our county clerk asked me, has anyone responded to you, Commissioner? That was like 2 weeks later. I said, I have not received the response. And so she said, I'm gonna check on that for you. I finally got a response, and the county manager said, "We have a vehicle for you, Commissioner Sanders." I said, "Can you tell me what is the vehicle? Because I want to make sure that it's maintenance and to make sure that it's safe to drive." I never heard a response. 2 weeks went by. I asked again, 3 emails. I asked again. The day before I was getting ready to leave, I received an email from our county manager said, "Commissioner Sanders, we have a vehicle for you, and it's a 13-passenger van." Yes. And I said, "I'm not comfortable driving a van I've never driven before." And the reason why I was telling him I was uncomfortable was because of my past of being in a major accident in a van. I shouldn't have to tell somebody why I'm uncomfortable. If you are a leader and you're a manager, you should listen. I shouldn't have to tell you my past story why I'm not comfortable driving a van. First of all, is it appropriate or acceptable to give one person a van with 15 people not even on it? When we have new vehicles in this county, and I have driven SUVs to go to various places. So what people meant for evil, God means for your good. And I wish he was here, because I don't talk behind your back, I tell you to your face. And so I want to thank him also, because he helped me get through fears of being in a van. He helped me get through that. And also being at that event, I met some wonderful people that want to do some great things in Newton County. So God always prevails at the end. So my moral to my story is this. When you are in leadership, listen to that person, because you never know what they went through and what they've gone through and the reason why they're telling you, "I'm uncomfortable." Thank you.
Commissioner Henderson.
Thank you, Ms. C. I'm just want to share this with the board. I've had some requests for trunk or treat, and I've had, I think Ms. Manala has a request for Thanksgiving, and they wanted me as their district commissioner to give a list to Ms. Jackie, and then ask for the consensus of the board to have events at Nelson Heights Community Center for the community. We also know that the what is the pickup trash day that's coming over at Nelson Heights. We requested that the building be open to use it for our trash pickup. It's be a part of Nelson Heights and also a part of Spring Hill community. And so we're asking that another additional dumpster be placed at Spring Hill community. So we're not gonna let that particular building, unless, I guess, a commission can't have access to any county facility, sit there without having some events that is requested by the community to be had at that particular building or buildings. And so we're going to be getting Ms. Jackie to write out that particular request and ask for a consensus that those buildings be used as it was built for. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. We don't have a need for executive session. I seek a motion that we adjourn. There's a motion by Commissioner Henderson and second by Commissioner Edwards. All in favor? We stand adjourned. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Good.